As the title states, men who are fathers or dads, what is there to expect? What tips or recommendations do you have for someone who is expecting to be a father this year? What should I plan for, and what ways can I help secure my partner and child's future? At the moment, I am experiencing a range of emotions from excitement to absolute terror at the same time. Story 1. The world will provide plenty of lessons on its own. Do not manufacture hardship for children. Not all screen time is equal. Do not treat the beneficial kind like the harmful kind, but keep all things in moderation. Where many parents go wrong is treating children like pets or property instead of inexperienced new humans. Teach and support them, do not try to control them. Nurture their interests and observe what develops. Take the things they like seriously, even if it is not your preference. Never hit them. Also, try not to yell at them, but never hit them. Story 2-1. Join the Daddit community. It's probably the most wholesome group on this site. Read to your baby daily, starting today. Read to them while in the womb. My baby recognized my voice at birth. I was able to get her to sleep as a newborn just by using my voice and skin-to-skin contact. Find a therapist you like now. You will have strong emotions, and you can also experience postpartum depression just like mothers can. Having that relationship already established will be immensely helpful. Take your child out into the world alone right away, even if it is just for a walk around the block to start. You get to build your own confidence and bond, and the mother gets a bit of a break. It is only hard to be a good father. If it feels hard, you are doing something right. You have this dad. Story 3. It's the best, literally the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. My wife and I waited to have children. My wife did not get pregnant until I was 36 and she was 34. We saved up for many years to start our family. I truly believe that is the right way to do it. We read books, discussed morality, and became financially secure. We were able to ensure that our son would have all necessities taken care of. I was so terrified on the day he was born. I wish someone had told me that babies can survive for several minutes without breathing. It took my son about 15 seconds to take his first breath. Felt like 15 years. The first 6 months were just as hard as everyone describes. Sleepless nights, covered in spit up and poop. But watching my son grow has genuinely been the greatest privilege of my life. He just turned 2 years old, and it gets better each day. Story 4. Money. Get your money right. Nothing else matters right now but money. Get another job or an additional part-time job if you have time and save up. Money. Did I say money? Money. The mother and child will need many things. Eventually, you will reach a point where the mother says, "We need," every single day. Story 5. Begin learning all the dad jokes you possibly can. Engrave them in your brain. Research ways to enhance said jokes by wearing typical dad attire. Learn about changing diapers once in a while, then tell your spouse or significant other how easy it is and how amazing you are because you can do it. For real though, learn about changing diapers and get used to the concept of being peed on by a thing with deadly aim. Learn about babies, sterilization, and co-parenting, which helps a lot. When I was expecting, I found out a baby poops 12 times a day in its first month. So I got size 2 diapers and bought enough for a month. That stuff is expensive, but I was ready. I also got a breast pump in case breastfeeding failed and even had funds aside for baby formula in case that didn't work too. Turned out it didn't. Be prepared for colic. It happens when a baby takes too much air from bottles. If you stop just shy of when they are sucking air, it reduces this. Also, learn how to properly and safely burp your baby. Learn about the physiology of babies. For example, their neck isn't strong enough to hold their head upright, so support their head and neck when lifting. Bring many bibs and prepare for messes. This is a puking, pooping, peeing machine. Embrace it and acknowledge you'll get used to it. Baby crying from your own child is 1,000 times worse than other children as it reaches into your soul and makes you feel like a bad parent. Don't let it make you feel that way. Babies cry because that's their only way to communicate. Whether hunger, pain, upset, grumpy, or sleepy, you'll get used to it. Invest in a baby monitor so you can actually sleep and watch or hear your baby if they awake. Most people will have the baby sleep in a cot in the same room. Take turns feeding the baby. Remember, their range of sight is about a foot from their face, so when you feed them, they can see your face, and that helps with bonding. Sleep is no longer a luxury but a blessing. If your baby sleeps regularly, tell nobody as they might jinx it. Remember to wake them for their feed at first, as they need constant feeds in the beginning. Whatever you do as a parent, however you do it, there is no 100% correct method. Work as a team and solve problems together. Look after your partner. She just gave birth to a watermelon-sized baby from a hole the size of an orange. That woman deserves love and attention too. Story 6. It goes so fast. Don't let a day go by that you waste. Change more than half the diapers. Do more than half the laundry. Do more than half the dishes. If your wife is breastfeeding, she is doing all of the feeding, even the 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. feedings that you do not even know about. Do not pester her for sex. Every day, hold your child, tell them you love them, and sing them silly songs you make up yourself or read their favorite books as they get older. For years, bedtime was daddy's story time. The kids would brush their teeth and put on their pajamas, and so would I. They would get into bed with me, and I would read to them, starting with really simple books and working up. Then, one by one, they decided they were too old to be read to by daddy anymore. I would trade every video game I have ever played for one more night when the kids wanted to be read to by daddy at bedtime. Story 7. A child is an amazing blessing in your life, but you only have a short time with them in the house, so enjoy it as much as possible. Remember that a healthy home starts with the relationship between you and your spouse. Make sure your relationship is the priority and check in with each other every day. Stay on the same page, and your children will benefit greatly from that stability. Also, grow your intimacy as much as you can. Have date nights when possible and dedicate time to each other. Let your spousal relationship be the example for how you want your children to grow up and treat people. You are a team, so when you are both stressed, tired, or hungry, understand that you are not upset with each other but facing a rough period. Work together to solve problems as they arise, and you will succeed. For the kids, take many pictures, store them in the cloud or back them up to a network-attached storage device. Looking back on experiences year after year is rewarding. Our memory tends to be biased toward negative memories, so having photos of the kids laughing and playing helps jog those good memories we might otherwise forget. Our oldest is 6 and loves looking through our photo collection. From the short time with our kids now, some of my favorite memories are rocking the baby back to sleep at 1 or 2 a.m., sitting in the rocking chair, humming lullabies until we both fall asleep. Cherish every moment. One day they will stop reaching for you to cuddle. Story 8. Make the decision now to be a professional dad. When you are tired and frustrated and the baby will not sleep after 24 lullabies, you suck it up and sing a 25th lullaby. Enjoy the moment by remembering that your child will not be a child forever. Story 9. Parenting is hardest for good parents. It's expensive, hard, sometimes unclear, and filled with irrational moments. But the reward and fulfillment you receive outweigh everything else in your life. My mom always joked to me, as soon as you have kids, it's no longer about you, it's about them. What she didn't tell me is that as soon as you meet your child, you only want it to be about them. It's been the single most fulfilling and best thing I've ever experienced. Yesterday, I got home from work, and both my boys ran to the door yelling, "Dad!" I was carrying them both, and we immediately broke into a wrestling, tickling match. They are 1.5 and 4.5 years old. Absolutely amazing. Then, a few minutes later, the little one bit the big one, and all hell broke loose. A few minutes after that, we were eating together as a family, talking about the day and coaching the 1.5-year-old through new words. Later, we got changed and drove down to the pool in our homeowners association. We had a nice jacuzzi session, then home for a bath, which was chaotic. After that, the nighttime routine began, chasing naked kids around the house. Lots of love before bed, good nights, a quick cleaning of the house, and then they were in bed. I mean, it's work, but every day is so full. I could not have kids and watch TV, drink, or play sports, but when my head hits the pillow at night, those things don't give me fulfillment. Story 10. It's the single hardest, most stressful, and draining thing I have ever done, and I would not trade it for anything. Story 11. Cherish every moment with them. When my son wants to do something together, I stop whatever I am doing to join him. He is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I refuse to waste a single moment of it. Story 12. Dad of 2 boys, 15 and 12. I'm 40 and my oldest made me a father at 25. I know it is very common to hear this, but it goes fast. Remember that at 3 a.m. when they are 7 months old, at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday when they are 4 years old, or at 5 p.m. on a Sunday evening when they are 7 years old and cannot find their shoe for the 5th time. In the moment, these little things seem maddeningly annoying. Then you literally start having discussions about which old car they want to buy, the credits they need to take for advanced classes, the sports they want to join, and what colleges they want to attend. Basically, fatherhood seems like rolling a tiny, minuscule snowball down a never-ending cliff that you barely formed using only your toes. You hope you did it right. You get advice on how to do it, despite never having used your toes to make one and having no idea what you are doing. You send it off, and it seems like it takes forever to roll down that hill until it starts going faster and faster, bigger and bigger. You want to chase after it to make corrections, to add to it, to redo choices to make it even better. But all you can do is watch, be supportive, hope for the best, and know that whatever obstacles it hits along the way, you will be there, always watching, always cheering it on, always. Story 13. Don't yell at them. The whole world will be criticizing them, so maybe you don't need to do that. If you're upset or frustrated with them, use your words. You're an adult and they're children. What can they possibly understand from your yelling? Except that you're mean? Always explain to them why you make decisions the way you do. When I would tell my son no, I made an effort to explain why. When I said yes, I sometimes explained why as well. To me, it seemed to give him an understanding of how and why my wife and I make decisions. Don't race them. I got this advice from a neighbor who had a son about 12 years old when my son was born. They were really into kart racing and often worked on their kart together. I said I couldn't wait to do that with my own son. He said, "Don't race them. He'll be there before you know it." I never forgot that, and he was right. There are plenty of times I wish I could have that little 3-year-old around to play with. Finally, spend as much time together as possible. I was in a unique situation with my son where we spent every single weekend together since he was born. I work in an office and my wife is a nurse. We set up our schedules so I worked during the week, and she worked 12-hour shifts on Saturday and Sunday and 8 hours on Fridays. Her mother took care of him on Fridays until I came home from work, and from then until Sunday night, it was basically just the two of us. I can't really explain the bond we've had, but by following the advice I wrote, I'll just say that right now he's 14 years old, and he actually wants to do things with me. We share many hobbies and go on little adventures together. My relationship with my son is nothing like the cold and distant relationship I had with my own father. We go rock climbing together, play Dungeons and Dragons, play online video games, go fishing and camping. We just do a lot of things together. Story 14. Some parents have trouble with this. Always respect that their children will not be carbon copies of them and may see and experience the world very differently. Do not pressure them into activities they do not want and let them explore what they enjoy. If it is a boy, let circumcision be his choice. Statistically speaking, he will rarely choose to get circumcised. Even if it seems completely normal to you, it may not be in his reality, where the rate is quickly dropping and worldviews where it is mostly uncommon and considered harmful are easily accessed. Story 15. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old, so I can share my own experience. Overall, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It's joy, pride, meaningfulness, and love like I have never felt before. Nothing in the world beats the feeling of making your baby laugh, of your toddler jumping into your arms after missing you all day, of them coming to you for comfort when they are hurt or scared, and of watching them learn and become a person. I felt ready to have them, which helped. I spent my 20s adventuring, partying, and exploring, and felt I had that out of my system. It was starting to wear thin. I imagine parenthood hits quite differently if you haven't done all that first. However, I won't lie to you. It's really hard. The hardest thing I have ever done by a long shot. But, as you will no doubt hear, It's only hard for good parents. I mention this because it can be a real comfort in the tricky times. I was not able to comprehend how hard it would be, how exhausting, all-encompassing, stressful, never-ending, and overwhelming it is. It was literally unfathomable to me before I had kids, even though I was very much expecting it to be hard. Tips for now. Enjoy your freedom, autonomy, downtime, sleep, hobbies while you can, as it will all be gone for quite some time. Tips for when the baby arrives. Support. You need to step up and get involved with nappies, night wakes, cooking, cleaning. You need to proactively take on a lot of it, as your partner will be recovering physically and mentally and will likely be stuck under a sleeping or feeding baby for hours a day. Check in with her and make sure you are doing all you can. Those first few months are rough because the baby basically does nothing but feed, have bowel movements, cry, and sleep. You won't start getting those cute smiles, laughs, or playtime for months, and I think that's actually really hard and quite a shock for some new parents. People say it all goes fast, and it sort of does, while also dragging insanely slowly at times. But I already miss who my kids were months ago. Those cute little kids are gone, and now there is a new version of them with new challenges here. I personally think each step of parenting is just preparing you for the next. It gets harder and harder, but you keep gaining experience and learning, and you are always just about ready to handle the next stage. I know new fathers who have been utterly out of their depth and have just given up or let the mother take on the lion's share. I honestly think they never really catch up as a result. This breeds resentment in the relationship and is hard to move past. Be prepared for the strain on your relationship. It's a very new dynamic for most relationships that, coupled with the difficulty of it all, can really challenge you as a couple. Just being aware of that, giving each other some leeway, and understanding that it happens to everyone can be a big help. It's important to remember that your partner's hormones will be out of balance for months, and this will impact things, so you need to be aware of it and account for it. Be patient with each other, with yourself, and always remember that no matter how difficult something seems right now, in a couple of weeks it will be a distant memory, and new challenges will have replaced it. Sorry this is a bit rambling, but hopefully something in there helps. Story 16. I am a stepdad to a lovely 18-year-old young woman who was 3 years old when I came into her life. She is moving off to college in the fall, and I could not be more proud. I would recommend taking as many pictures as you can. Having a solid collection of memories to look back on as the years pass is key. I went through cancer and almost did not make it. I had those photos to look back on and smile while I was on the mend. Story 17. Get fit and lose weight while you can. Being strong with some stamina will be useful, and the lack of time to get fit during earlier years can really set you back when you hit your 40s. You will probably have to cut something out to make time for it, like television time, but I promise it will pay big dividends down the road. It is also a great life habit to teach your children. Story 18. Buy diapers during pregnancy. Every payday, buy a box. Get in shape. Learn how to do it yourself and get a good basic toolkit. Get on your stomach and crawl around looking under furniture for anything small that a child might want to put in their mouth. Look at your home for anything breakable or that can be pulled down. Move it. Start learning to meal prep. After the baby is born, if you cook all your and your spouse's lunches and dinners on Sunday, it will make things easier. Consider starting a college savings fund now. Put at least $50 a month into it. Start saving for your family's future. Look at buying a house. You may have to start small with a 2-bedroom condominium, but you can sell it in a couple of years and use that equity to buy something bigger, continuing until you get your ideal home. Get in shape and stop drinking. Story 19. Be there for your children. You might not bond with the baby at first. That is common. Just keep putting in the effort and, most importantly, time. It will come. It might even take a few years. Be there for the mother. Not like, I did the bare minimum with the household chores, so I expect intimacy now that it has been a month. Try to take most of the responsibility for the first few months while the mother is recovering. Give each other grace while you adjust to the new normal. Sleep might be in short supply. Find ways to ensure you both get enough rest, such as naps in different parts of the house and meal preparation so you can eat whenever you want. Being rested will make many things easier. Try to have the baby sleep in their own room close to yours, from day one. Use a reliable baby monitor. Avoid giving the baby screens. Whenever you feel frustrated, take a deep breath. Review your priorities. You, the mother, and the child are alive, able to eat, and hopefully in good health. Take another deep breath and realize that your problems are annoying, but relatively minor in the grand scheme of things. Finally, talk with your partner about how you would both like to handle possible situations. While they are still hypothetical, it is easier to agree and compromise. Story 20. You can open a 529 plan as soon as you have the social security number. Go ahead and open one. Even if you just put $25 a month, get started and then add any birthday, communion, or graduation money. Story 21. No one is truly ever ready. Even my friends who had children that turned out wonderfully, after speaking with them, you realize that they did not do anything different. They just put in the effort and let luck do the rest. You are going to make mistakes, you will freak out, and you will be scared of your decisions. The best advice I can give you is to support the mother as much as possible, both physically and emotionally. Sometimes just giving her a little time away from the baby is enough. It is not that she does not love the baby anymore, but some breathing space will really help. Story 22. In the short term, you will want a comfortable recliner to sit in, a pair of earplugs for colic, and more receiving blankets than you think you need. You also need a diaper disposal system or your local equivalent if you are using disposable diapers. At the hospital, you must be the advocate for your wife. Be polite but ask questions to ensure they are doing their job. Some nurses are amazing, kind human beings. Some are not. Some doctors are excellent. Others do not even review the chart before prescribing medication. If your wife has medical conditions, ask each new doctor about them to confirm they are informed. If you cut the umbilical cord, be prepared, it is tougher than you think. Nurses may laugh if you are not confident or have difficulty. If you attend the birth or the cesarean section, be aware that the smells will be unfamiliar. Also, be cautious about having low blood sugar before the experience. Before leaving the hospital, ask about your child's bilirubin levels and if they are within the normal range. Write this down and do not forget. Depending on the lighting and your child's skin color, light treatment may be needed to address jaundice. Doctors in a rush with less than ideal conditions can miss the visual signs. This oversight can lead to permanent disability in the child. Story 23. First, congratulations, Dad. Second, remember that literally billions of fathers managed to raise healthy children before the advent of modern medicine, modern baby care products, YouTube, and the internet. Learn to feed, burp, bathe, change, dress, and so on. Don't just be a dad. Be a father and be present and involved in your child's life. Make sure you have a good job. Not the best job, but a good one. As long as you can put a roof over your heads, have a clean place to sleep, feed them, and keep them generally healthy, you're doing everything right. If you're burning yourself out, missing your child growing up, and making your lives miserable in order to make their lives better, you're doing it wrong. You are the father of your child. You have a say in how your child is raised, and you and your wife have the final say on how your child is raised. This is definitely an instance where the saying, opinions are like noses. Everybody has one applies. You and your wife need to agree to raise your children together in a way that you both agree on, and understand that you are not obliged to follow anybody's advice. Good luck. Get yourself some rest, you're going to need it. Story 24. You will make mistakes, but circumcision is the only irreversible one, so do not do it. I can get any information you need. Story 25. It is the hardest thing to do, and I mean that in the best way. Be involved, be present. Remember, it is not the children's fault that they are here. It is the most rewarding thing I have done in my life. Story 26. It's a change of life. You can decide whether to be an active, caring father or a jerk. My father was the latter. When my wife told me she was pregnant, I decided to be the former. Not my kid's friend, parent, an active participant in raising them. Being there is everything. Guiding them, knowing who their friends are, knowing who the friends' parents are, their teachers, their school administrators. They all knew my wife and me, not helicopter parents, but parents who were active. Starting when they were young, I made sure to open conversations with them, showing them they can trust us enough to discuss the problems they face. Teaching them what characteristics are important in their own lives and especially when choosing friends. Not telling them, just pointing out if the troublemakers, drama queens, and gossips were the people they want in their lives. Again, not as their friend, but as a caring father. They knew my boundaries on behavior and schoolwork, what I do not tolerate. All their friends knew it as well. Our home was the safe and fun house. Their friends' shoes at the front door looked like a platoon of recruits was visiting several days a week, which was a blessing for us. I don't wish to sound like I'm patting my own back, but it worked out well. 2 adult children doing well. Their childhood friends still visit us to say hello and update us on their lives. It's work. A lot of work, effort, and patience. Oh, the patience needed. Good luck. Story 27. Talk to your children in the womb. They hear your voice. When my daughter was born 4 weeks early and in distress, they had to put her under a heating lamp. She was upset, but when I started talking to her, she immediately calmed down and grabbed my finger. Sing to them often. It helps with development and building connections. Story 28. It is the best, hardest, most complicated thing you will ever do. The days are long, but the years are short. My oldest is heading into kindergarten in the fall, and I am just so amazed at the little human he is. It is going to test your relationship. You may even lose your sense of self in the early years, but they become more self-sufficient as they get older. My best advice is to always foster that sense of curiosity. My children ask me tons of questions about random things, and I always want them to love learning, so I never dismiss their questions. If I do not know the answer, I ask their opinion. We need to foster the next generation's curiosity. Story 29. Being a parent is selfless if you are doing it right. You are not owed anything in return. I mean respect, but not all parents are good. So respecting all parents is not always the case. I love being a dad. I never thought it would happen. He is 17 now, and all in all, I would recommend it. There are ups and downs. There is crying and laughing. There are worry-filled days hoping he does the right thing. They will forget. They will fail. They are going to fall down. They will fall in love. Their heart will also be broken. You just have to manage your emotions. That is usually the biggest issue. Parents are just bigger kids who cannot manage their emotions, having kids, and both learning about feelings at the same time. Learning to talk about things after you have thought about them is always the best course with kids. Also, boundaries. Develop hard yes and hard no boundaries. I have witnessed the mothers around me having the hardest time saying no to their children. Then, when their kids are 13 years old, mothers ask, why do they ignore me? Why do they walk all over me? Why do they listen to their dad but not me? Fathers make mistakes too. It is just the first thing I see in my day-to-day as a dad. Boys, on the other hand, seem to not do much. There is no playing in the woods, riding bikes, or chasing the ice cream truck down the road. Story 30. Talk to your wife's stomach every night. When my daughter was born and she was crying at about 1 minute old while they were taking care of my wife, I said hello to her. She turned her head towards my voice, gripped my finger, and stopped crying immediately. It's just amazing even 22 years later. Also, let your baby and soon-to-be toddler explore things fully. They can literally hold and discover something as simple as a rattle for an hour. They touch, look, taste, and listen. They are literal sponges, and what you might think is boring is immense stimulation to them. Enjoy and be present. I know people who missed years or even whole childhoods because they were stuck to the self-imposed directive of planning for the future. Be present and enjoy the gifts of each day. Congratulations. Story 31. At your age, what do you remember about your freshman year of high school? Probably some faint memories, but it felt like a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of your high school experience. That same amount of time is all the time you get with your baby before they are walking. The baby phase is incredibly short, but it will be the hardest test of your patience you have ever experienced. Put the rest of your life on hold temporarily and pour every ounce of your effort into that baby because they are only a baby for a year at most. Otherwise, Get ready to feel a whole new level of love. I am talking about an I would take a bullet for this human without thinking twice level of love. Also, stay up north during delivery. There is no reason to go down south, as you do not want to see that. Took me a while to shake that visual. Delivery is dangerous. I almost lost my son when he was born and almost lost my wife when my daughter was born. Do not take delivery lightly. None of that home birth nonsense. Had we not delivered in a hospital, I would be a single father of a daughter rather than a happily married father of 2 healthy children. Story 32. Fatherhood is a slow-moving affair. It is a glacier. Its mass and resilience can be used for good or for ill. I am the father to 3 who are either now of an age or entering an age where who they are as people has begun to matter more than when they were small. I have also, in just the last year, lost my own father. If I may, some thoughts. Nothing replaces in its impact kindness. As an example, as a practice, as a watchword. To paraphrase Doctor Who, be nice if you can, but always be kind. It leaves an indelible impression not just on your own children, but on those who see you through their eyes. Your children are not you. If you are trying to live through them, you need to rethink your priorities and grant them at minimum the personal autonomy you would demand for yourself. It is not the easiest thing in the world, but your ultimate job is to give your children the tools to succeed and the space to fail. You should be there if they fail in whatever way you can. Sometimes it is to help them get back on their feet. Sometimes it is just to help them process what has happened, and sometimes it is to offer, and I repeat, offer a swift kick because sometimes we all want that. All of this presumes a healthy relationship with your children, which, I get it, is not given in every circumstance. Sometimes all you need to do is tell them you love them, that you are on their team, and that you are pulling for them. All the rest will follow. Story 33. Learn to cook if you can't. Having real healthy meals is important for health and development for everyone, and it doesn't have to be expensive or time-consuming. 15 to 20 minutes is doable to make meals from whole foods. Don't resort to frozen and processed food. You'll always feel tired when it isn't nourishing, especially with less sleep and focusing on another being. Stay active and keep moving. Weight gain and a dad body is no joke. Even going for a walk after dinner and getting some fresh air helps a lot. Save money for the child's education. $100 a month adds up over time. Spend time with your friends and let them know how much they matter. Even if long periods pass without seeing them, let them know you appreciate their support up to this point in your life. Drift will inevitably happen, but having that conversation and closure means a lot. Realize you don't have all the answers, nor will there be a right or wrong. No regrets, just knowing that you made the best decision you could at the time. Simple challenges include figuring out how much soothing the baby needs when crying versus not being a pushover. You'll spend a lot of time at home. Make the home comfortable and a place you want to be in. Decorations, cleaning, having storage space. Purge what you don't need to make room, as you'll accumulate a lot of baby and kid clutter. Story 34. Know that you will make mistakes, that you will not be perfect, and you will have no idea what you are doing at least half the time. However, the most important thing is to simply be there for your child and spend time with them doing anything. Also, put in the effort to do little things to help take care of your partner, especially if she will stay at home with the child for an extended period of time. Story 35. Sleep now. It is the last time you ever will. Also, for every argument with your partner or wife from now until the child is 5, you are wrong. Put your ego aside. The only appropriate answer is yes, dear. Story 36. Be present in mind and body with your child. Be the father you would want to have. My father was great, so I strive to be better than that. Do your best not to get frustrated. They are tiny people who do not know anything and are just experiencing each thing about the world one thing at a time. Do as much as you can without taking over too much. Allow your partner to do the same. Stick to a schedule as much as possible. Sometimes a routine is established but gets broken a week later. Adapt. Do not get mad at your partner if they are doing their best as well. Communicate needs between the two of you and work as a team. Remember, it is you and them versus the problem, not a problem between you. I have an 8-month-old girl, and it gets frustrating sometimes. it gets easier and gets harder. Maintain healthy, open communication in your relationship and things are much easier than the alternative. My wife is a great mother and dedicated to making sure our baby's needs are met, and I am there to do half the work when available and take over when needed. Not sure how old you and she are, but I am in my late 30s and my wife is in her early 30s, so that could make a difference. We are secure in ourselves and our lives, so I cannot speak to how difficult it would be if we were in a less fortunate situation. Story 37. It opened up a lot of unprocessed trauma from my own childhood and my own father. Apart from that, absolutely amazing. I love having my own little boy who looks up to me. My little mini-me that does and likes things just like his daddy. I love it. Becoming a father has been the best thing that has ever happened to me by far. Story 38. Whatever you do, you are going to be doing it right. Do not worry about doing things exactly as they are meant to be done. Doing your best as a father is what matters. You are going to live for that child, and they are going to think the world of you. Do not let other people judge you, and do not judge yourself by other people's standards. Do what you think is right, and you will be doing well. Support your partner, look after your child, and keep your chin up. Special note for new fathers on feeding. The Tommy Tippy Perfect Prep Machine is worth its weight in gold if you do not already have one. It does not matter how much is going in as long as there is plenty coming out. Babies will self-regulate and let you know when they need feeding or changing. One last tip. When changing, release the tabs on the nappy but wait a minute before opening it up to allow pressure to clear. Nobody wants to get sprayed. Story 39. Honestly, it is the most difficult thing that you will ever do while also being the easiest. When my daughter was born, it was like an instant snap. The second you see your child, you will fall in love with them. Being a parent is easy in the sense that you know what the right thing to do is. You just need to actually do it. Changing diapers, feeding, being patient, being involved. Doing the right thing is easy. The hard part for me is going to bed every night wishing you had done better, wondering if you are actually doing the right thing, and hoping that you are involved enough. Story 40. It is hard but fulfilling and beautiful. Understand and support your wife. Sexual life might decline. Understand her and communicate openly with her. Story 41. Children are a catalyst for change. When things get tough between you and your partner, whether due to sleep deprivation, a loss of intimacy, or general stress, remember that the arrival of this new, beautiful responsibility has shifted your relationship dynamics. If your relationship was strong before your child arrived, it still is. It has simply been transformed by this major life change. Try not to place blame on each other for the challenges you face. While you certainly cannot blame your baby either, it is important to acknowledge the impact this transition has on both of you. Awareness, compassion, and patience are key. You are both adjusting to something new together. Story 42. Prepare to be stretched beyond your limits. It is not about you or her anymore. It is about your children. Story 43. Father of two young adults here. The hardest years when they are reliant on you are actually the best. From being needed by them to not being needed is a bitter pill to swallow. You only really have their time until high school. After that, you lose them to their friends and devices. On the plus side, the house is much better with them, and holidays are more fun compared to just me and my spouse. As you get older, having the kids around always feels better. I feel it will be slightly more boring when my kids move out. Story 44. Find the humor in everything and laugh when things go wrong. Treat your child with all the respect and dignity you would wish to receive in the same situation. Remember accountability as well. Story 45. Getting ready to be a father, a good father anyway, is a lot like preparing for a hurricane. Yes, there are things you can and should do, but once the event actually happens, you will be caught flat-footed and dealing with all kinds of scenarios you didn't think were possible, usually involving bodily fluids and functions. Be present. Don't avoid parental duties by leaving everything to your spouse or partner and stepping away whenever you want. We aimed for as close to 50-50 duties as we could, and it's still difficult. Your child will build the relationship with you based on what you put into it. Everything you don't do now will be repaid with interest years later. Find support. Ideally, you live near your family or your partner's family who can offer relief. We did not, and that was very difficult. Make sure you have a support network because it will make things easier. Find trusted babysitters. Sleep. Sleep when and where you can. If you are lucky, your child will be a good sleeper and nap well. If not, just sleep whenever possible. Fun is going on vacation. The first few years will be challenging in terms of personal enjoyment. This is normal if you are doing it right. It gets better once children become more independent. Grow a thick skin. Your partner may be demanding post-pregnancy. Don't take it personally. Be supportive as your partner heals. Her body underwent hard work, as well as hormonal changes and lack of sleep. Take pictures. Seriously, do it. You have access to a device more powerful than early 2000 supercomputers that can instantly archive these memories. I still look back at baby and toddler photos with my wife and relive the hilarious moments. Listen to your instincts. They are there for a reason. If you feel uneasy about a person or situation, trust that feeling. You are your child's protector, so don't be afraid to be firm. It's hard. The lack of sleep, money, and time is all hard. But it is also the best thing I have ever done, and I would go through anything for my child. Story 46. There is a quote from Tuvok from Star Trek Voyager. Offspring can be disturbingly illogical, yet profoundly fulfilling. You should anticipate paradox. That is about it right there. Story 47. As much as possible, have skin-to-skin contact with the baby. Your wife will experience this when she is nursing, and it builds a bond between them. You can also have a similar experience through skin-to-skin contact. Story 48. The first 3 months are difficult. Mom will feel very connected to the baby, but you likely will not. And that is okay. Babies become more interactive around 3 months. Then you will have the best time. Play with them, be silly, make them laugh, and feed them. That child is going to be your best friend. Story 49. I had my first child at 40, and honestly, I was scared too. You are never ready, but somehow you figure it out one diaper at a time. Just be patient with yourself, and be her rock even when you are exhausted. Best advice. Sleep when you can, do not overthink every cry, and hold your child every chance you get. They grow fast. Story 50. Do not forget that just because you become parents, you are still husband and wife and need to continue focusing on each other. People have children and then their only focus is the child, and they lose their connection. Yes, your child is important and needs you, but they also need you to be intact and in a good place. Use the resources you have to watch the child while you stay connected and continue to date and enjoy each other. Story 51. Once they are old enough, and it will come faster than you think, playtime is the key to a child's heart. The more you mix it up, get creative, and stimulate their imagination, the better. Story 52. Being a dad is a lot of work and has been one of the best things ever. Now, I have a beautiful granddaughter, which is amazing. Be prepared to be more tired than you thought possible. Children will try your patience beyond your breaking point. Do not take it out on them. Your protective father instincts will kick in strongly. Embrace that. Kids are a lot tougher than you think they are. It is okay if they fall down. It is part of the process. This is a lifetime commitment. You never stop being a dad. Even when your child has their own children, you are still a dad. Story 53. Father of 3 daughters aged 16, 12, and 8. Be the yes man. Give them everything. Be firm when teaching. Tell them you love them every day. Kiss them every day. Story 54. Prepare yourself to accept a lower position in the pecking order. This has nothing to do with your spouse. It is a normal biological drive in all humans. Your children come first. Many people do not feel that drive as strongly and then experience stress from the perceived loss of priority. It becomes a problem because it creates resentment over the perceived loss of importance in your partner's eyes. That is not what is happening. Your concern and dedication to each other remain the same, but a new, much higher priority concern has arrived, and the difference in scale between these two demands is significant. This is innate in humans, just like wanting sex and like sexual desire It is highly variable and inconsistent. Prepare for these changes so you are not stressed by them. Talk to your partner about the changes that are coming and work on strategies to manage them. This might be as simple as agreeing on a phrase to express the feeling, with the understanding that while you have that feeling, you do not want to behave negatively. Instead, acknowledge and express it so your partner can understand what you are experiencing. A key to maintaining relationships is distinguishing feelings from actions and being able to listen to someone's feelings without assuming it means an action will follow. When someone says, "I feel nauseous," it does not mean they will vomit. Feeling unappreciated also does not mean you will retaliate. Open communication of feelings helps manage them because it reinforces the separation between feelings, often automatic emotional responses, and your intentions, which are guided by reason. Story 55. Father of a 3-month-old son. First, it is a bit of a shock, and I think you need time to get to know each other, but with time, everything becomes easier. Story 56. Always encourage and try very hard not to discourage. If your child wants to try something, whether it is food, sports, or hobbies, make an effort to allow them to do it. My brother allows his children to try out hobbies all the time. His son watched the television show Forged in Fire and wanted to try making a knife. So they went and got some materials and he went at it. His daughter went to a summer camp where they learned some archery basics. She said she wanted to try it more and they did. She loves it and is good at it. She also loves to fly fish. You need to let them fail too. Too many children today have not failed enough. Failure is a great teaching tool. Story 57. Absolutely. His mother and I divorced just before his 2nd birthday, and he has lived with me ever since. Being a father is the single most rewarding thing I have ever done. Story 58. Stuff people forget or don't prioritize enough. 1. Open a savings account for them. Ideally, something which they can access only once they turn 18 or for education. For example, in the UK, it would be a junior individual savings account. Get family to put birth presents, Christmas, and birthday money in. Cash is better than any plastic card. Sleep training. Research how to train babies, what not to do, backup plans, and agree on your strategy before birth. It's easy to get wrong, hard to get right. A bit of what feels like tough love pays dividends. Remember, you're teaching them how to fall asleep. If they only fall asleep full or in your arms, that's what they'll need for a long time and then be poor sleepers. Fill your freezer with homemade food. Guests are there to help. Clean, cook, garden, or watch the baby while you sleep. Tell them in advance of birth, especially if they haven't had kids themselves or are naturally a bit self-focused. Be firm about your family's needs, such as arrival and departure times. Be graceful if they cannot accommodate you. It's not all about you. Secondhand is best. Put the savings into the child's savings account. There is much good stuff for free or cheap. Stroller systems. Don't bother. Just use a lightweight stroller. You may want 2, 1 for birth to 6 months, then 1 to 2 years old. Under 3 months, use a car seat only. Use specific tools for specific jobs. These are cheaper and easier to get pre-loved, except for car seats. Don't stress. It's hard and you'll have no clue. Just do what you can among the conflicting advice. Happy parents equal a happy child. Leave the baby with others as soon as possible. Start with 5 minutes sitting in your own garden, then going to the local shop, then a coffee. Teach them you come back. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.